I cut it right in the middle intentionally is because I want everybody to go home and read more about this. Read more about this. Is it permissible to ask this question? Is it true that Imam Ahmed saw Allah over 100 times? And most importantly, brothers and sisters, why? Why would you say it's impossible? Why can't Allah be seen in a dream? And Allah knows best. Any questions on or off the topic besides this issue? If not, then we will stop and you'll start with the Arabic, inshallah.
I'm going to ask one question. I don't know if it's...
Fadl.
You tell me if I can answer it.
Just to be just, the class tonight was supposed to be 30 minutes. It's 33 minutes and 47 seconds. Class was supposed to be 30 minutes. And Sultan said, Mufti, make sure you stick to the script. Khair. We try to leave 10 minutes for the Q&A.
In regards to seeing Allah.
La.
Right? No, it's not just it's about what we already covered. So, in this hadith, is this only permissible, or was it only permissible during the time of the Prophet?
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Are you speaking about the first hadith that he will see him consciously?
Yes.
We say that if you look at all three opinions, none of the three opinions are too far from each other. Those who made hijrah, Allah made it easier for them to make hijrah. Obviously, they saw the Prophet ﷺ in person, consciously. Those who made hijrah, they, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say what? The vast majority, if not all of them, died upon what? Islam. There were people who apostated. Apostated. Very small, tiny minority here and there. But the people that was Sahaba met the Prophet ﷺ. Everybody understand this? So therefore, we say what? If they saw him in a dream, then they obviously saw him in person, consciously. And also, in the hereafter, they will be resurrected with the Prophet ﷺ. If the companions of the Messenger of Allah don't see Muhammad, then who will? Fair enough? Khair, inshallah. The second interpretation he mentioned was what? Those who didn't meet him in this dunya, but they will meet him what? So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's specific to the Rasul or his time period, That was only one interpretation. And the asl, the rule of thumb, and the original understanding is that what the Prophet ﷺ said and spoke on is for every time and every place. The asl. There are some hadiths that are specific to times and places. Yes. There are some narrations that are what? Specific to a one person or one place. An example of this is just an example, a hypothetical example, is the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu and Sunan Abi Dawood, in which the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam saw, he says what? He saw a person burying their child. And he says the one burying and the one who's buried will both be what? In the fire. Both of them will be in the fire. A woman said, why is the baby? Why is the dead baby? Why is the baby being in the fire? Some of the ulama, is many interpretations. It's a long argument of that hadith. The highlighting point is what? Some of them say that was talking about a specific what? Baby and parent. Not every single, Al-wa'idat wal-ma'udatu finnar. One burying and the one being buried will both be in the fire. That doesn't mean every single child is being buried. So there are some prophetic traditions that are specific to times and places, yes. And the only way that we know that is through looking at the actual hadith, the story behind the hadith, the context in which the hadith was mentioned. What was the appropriate situation? What was the scenario? When did the Prophet say that and make that statement? Traveling, walking, sleeping to Abu Bakr in private, in front of all of the Sahaba, etc. Everybody understand this? And we've spoken on this many times in many videos before. Asbab al-wurud wa tahdith. Reasons behind the hadith being mentioned and reason behind the hadith being passed on from the companion to the tabi'in. We've explained this before. Why did the Prophet say it? And why did the companion pass it on? Everybody understand this? We've said this before. So therefore we say the rule of thumb is that anything the Prophet says or does is general for all. But there are some narrations which are specific. So some of the ulama said that that narration was specific, and others said it's for everyone. And what's meant by seeing him consciously, because the Prophet ﷺ has died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He will see him awake consciously in the hereafter. Wallahu ta'ala alam. That's the first narration. The second narration does not mention seeing the Prophet consciously, but it mentions that he has indeed seen the Prophet in the dream, if the actual dream was accurate. If the dream was accurate. And Allah knows best. Any other questions from the brothers and the sisters on or off the topic?
Okay.
Naam.
One question, and
No problem.
I already answered, but I just want to be sure. Just one more example, as a matter of fact, about another hadith. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you say some hadiths is specific and some is general. Right?
Okay.
Is like, for instance, one good example is when you talk to some people and says, when they say advise me, and he says don't get angry.
Okay.
Is that could be both, right?
Question says the hadith in which someone came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, advise me. The Prophet ﷺ is quoted to have said, do not become angry. Is that general? Is that specific? Etc. We say yes and no. It is specific and it is general. It's specific from the aspect of perhaps the Prophet ﷺ said, don't become angry to that man because he knew that that man had an anger problem. Or perhaps he knew that that man had a fierce temper. Or perhaps there was a situation or something that was going on and happening, taking place, which will cause him to display anger. That's one concept. And there are many other hadiths like this, in which the Messenger of Allah ﷺ is asked, what's the best deed? What is the best thing to do? Some narrations he said jihad. Some narrations he says martyrdom, dying in jihad. Some narrations he says spending wealth. Some narrations may say dhikr, salah, protecting people from the harm of your tongue, not cursing out people and disrespecting, backbiting people, etc. So it all depends from what? Person to person, and also from time to time. There are some times in which the best deeds or the best deed is sadaqah, financial support of Islam. No doubt about that. And there are other times in which the Muslims have more than enough wealth. We need people to do physical things now. And there are other times in which the Muslims need knowledge more than anything else. Well, how can that? From time to time, place to place. So that is the part of the answer which is specific. As far as the generality of the hadith, then everybody should avoid becoming angry unnecessarily. It leads to evil, and it is unhealthy for the body and for the mind. Is this not the case? Excessive anger. Second interpretation of the hadith is, do not act upon your anger, Isa. And some of them say that the hadith doesn't mean don't become angry, but it says don't act upon your anger. It's natural to get angry, but don't pick up your hand or reach for your belt. In Philadelphia, so I don't pick up my hands anymore. He reaches for his belt or anything else, his jacket pocket. Do not act upon your anger. Everybody understand this? Do not what?
Act upon your anger.
Say, A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. Turn away. Walk away. Seek refuge. Make wudu. Sit down. Whatever you have to do, go to the gym. Whatever you have to do, what? To release that anger. Don't act upon it and harming yourself or harming someone else unjustly. We said what? Unjustly. As far as if it's a time in which it's permissible, Bismillah. And Allah knows best. Any other questions from the brothers or the sisters before we stop? Any questions from the brothers or the sisters before we stop on or off the topic? Not about the issue though, Sheikh.
The issue of seeing along.
No, the cup has to be empty, Sheikh. You have to pour everything out.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I had a question about like what was his name? Like no,
whose name?
Not the person who said the person who said they saw Allah more than 100 times.
As for the person who is quoted or it's speculated or claimed that he saw Allah over 100 times, then from the fatwa that we read, it was said that that was Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. We didn't say whether that was true or false. We never mentioned whether that was correct or incorrect. We just read it. It was said. Qila, it was said. And there's a difference between it was said and it is true. And Allah knows best. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina Muhammad.